Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. We have the clipboard and we have a question, and this comes from Boston George, and George says, Serge, is there any chance you can show the impact position with the PPGS? I think it would help many of us if we had an image of where we want the club handle and head to be in relation to our hands at impact. Love the swing, just want to work on the ultimate goal of getting from vertical to the perfect impact position. All right, George, let's see if we can't do that for you. And we'll start off by just talking about the once we go into catcher's mitt and up the tree and we ring the bell, which is as the hands are going up, the bell rings before the backswing is completed with the hands, and that's when the bump starts, or is better known as a transition and a bump. And so I ring that bell, bing, bang, and I bump. Now, as soon as I bump, the whole concept is I've turned into my right side, and I ring the bell, and I'm already hitting the bump, and the weight's moving to the inside of my back foot, which is my right foot for me, and it's starting to push me forward, and it's creating, as you're going to see, my bow actually gets bigger. All right, and because it's getting bigger, it's what's created, as Dr. Armstrong calls it, the secondary spine angle tilt. So if you can see real slow as I come up here and I make that bump, the lateral bump is going from here just straight up. So if my knees have turned a little inward just a little bit with the limited turn and the outward pressure so that we don't get a lot of movement in our setup, it bumps down that line. And so that's what drops the club from the top and pulls it relatively straight down, that little bit of free fall. And so in that little bump, which is taken away from the right foot to the left foot, once it reaches the left foot's already starting to roll over. The inside of the foot should be coming off the ground as the weight rolls over to the outside edge of the ankle. And that, with the hips running away from the upper body, the head goes backwards a little bit, and actually the head should stay still to just slightly go back and maybe downward a little bit because of the angle tilt. But it's very subtle and it's happening so fast you can barely see it. But what it's doing is it's going back, and as soon as I hit the ball, the head will immediately pop up, so the head kind of goes backing up like a comber, and I call that the dipsy doodle. Boom, and it comes up. You can see DJ, if you go look at his swings, he has a more pronounced dipsy doodle with his head than I do. His head goes back a little bit farther, and I think you can notice him more because he's being taller, and his swing really comes down into the impact from back here. You can probably see his a little bit more because he has a more pronounced dipsy doodle than I do, with the head going backwards. But what that means is the head is back here a little bit at impact. So the bow, when this goes this way, and I have the bow, as soon as I bump and gets the outside edge, then the body starts to turn out of the way. From the feet up, it goes the knees and then the hips, and the shoulders, which were back here over with the back arm over the toe line, they'll be pulled and turning into where I get at impact. I should be just about dead, absolutely parallel left of my aiming line, which will return my hands as they come slightly from the inside, and as they start getting on the line to approach the ball on, square and solid. The shoulders will be square, so that means at this point my hands should be square at impact. And at that point in time, as I come down to there, as you can see, the knees are a little bit left, the hips are a little bit left, there's still a bow in my body, the weight's to the outside of the foot, the front knee is flexed, the spine angle is back a little bit behind where the ball would be. I'll put its ball right up here on this line. And the ball, I'll come into the ball, and by the time I'm coming back, and the face is kind of toe up all the way here to the point where now the club face is toe at the camera, and the club face and the scoring lines on the club face are just about dead perpendicular to my body. The 3P position and impacts, palms perpendicular to the ground, perpendicular to my torso, and if I'm dead parallel left of my line, as being a left-hander, be parallel left of my aiming line, they'll be perpendicular to the aiming target, or the target line. So 3 Ps, perpendicular, perpendicular, and perpendicular. It'll be there. And if that all happens, I still got the bow here. So as I said, shoulders will be parallel to the aiming line, but the hips and knees will be a little left. So now as I come into impact, the hands will be basically with the grip of the club and the butt of the club pointing at the belt buckle. They maybe were slightly forward of that at impact, but remember, the club head is really accelerating and getting ready to get to this in straight line, again at the belt buckle, and then in a blink, the club head will be out racing the hands into the forward catcher's mitt, toe up, and then when I hit that forward catcher's mitt, I stand up, I swing up, stand up, AFAP, as fast as possible to the T finish. So once I hit it here, in a blink, the hands are being passed by the club head, In fact, in all good impacts, the hands get to the ball, get the impact position of the ball first, but it's a split second, a nanosecond. It's even, and the club face is racing past it. So if you can have the feeling that you basically your shaft to the butt of the club is pointing at your belt buckle at impact, and your shoulders are square to your aiming line, you're in a good impact position. So one more time, I go into catcher's mitt and up the tree. It goes up. I start my bump. I come back down. The hips and the knees are already turning a little left, but the shoulders get pulled just back to impact. At impact, they're parallel left. I hit it, and in a nanosecond, I'm in the forward catcher's mitt, toe up and up the tree. So, bang, impact. All right, hope this answers your question. George from Boston, and hopefully you got a little bit more time to keep playing some more golf before the winter really, so I guess we could say, snows you down till the spring. All right, well, hopefully this answers some questions, and you know what impact is. But remember, the thing about impact is it's happening so fast. I don't think we can basically memorize an impact position. All you got to know is what you're trying to achieve and do it, because impact is faster than snapping your fingers. Remember, the ball's on the club 1/2 of 1,000th of a second. So I don't think we can practice impact. To me, it's like practicing how if you trip, you're going to fall correctly. So I think it's one of these things you just have to do it, know what you want to do, and do it. And the key is if you're coming down the club toe up here, and you hit it, getting to swinging over there toe up at the right speed, so you can get in that forward catcher's mitt and up the tree, impact will take care of itself. All right, it's too fast to really consciously try to do, because it's too fast. 1/2 of 1,000th of a second is awfully darn fast, and so just do it. Toe up here to toe up there, and impact will be good. But at least you know what it looks like now. Straight up, point at the belt buckle. That's it for the search for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.